Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I'm your host, Charles. Along with me, as always, my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. How you doing today, Jacob?
I am swell, Charles. Excited for another episode of the podcast. We pitch new TV shows every single week. New stories, new plot lines, new characters, new worlds. Sometimes it's fantasy, sci-fi. Sometimes, Charlie, it's contemporary. Sometimes we're in the real world, or, you know, in a world like the real world with real
approximation.
People and real things going on, which is what I've got going on this week.
Yes. I was hoping that you would.
Yeah, so you gave me possibly the worst title. It's up there. I think that we've given each other yet. I think it's between first and last place and shoe leather for the Olympic gold of worst title given.
Both of them are mine.
Yeah, I was thinking about this last night as I was trying to come up with an idea. I think you have, in terms of our title rankings, I give a lot of, like, if we're ranking them out of 10, I give you a lot of 6s and 7s, you know? I give you a lot of decent balls. And every once in a while I'll give you a real good one, but most of the time it's a 6 or a 7. What you like to do is, like, you like to throw, like, a couple of 4s, maybe a 1 at me, which is a 1, and then you'll throw a 10, you know? You'll throw, like, every once in a while you throw me a 10, but most of the time you'll throw me, like, a 4 or a 5 or a 6, and then in moments like this you'll throw me a 1. I have not thrown you a 1 before, and you've thrown me 2 1s.
I'm trying to keep you on your toes, man. I gotta keep you, keep that creative mind flowing.
Yeah, well, I hate you.
Well, I've started an idea.
It took me forever to come up with this stupid show.
What are you talking about? Shoe leather's great. You could make it about a cobbler who's coming to terms with...
I don't want to spoil things, but there might be a cobbler involved here.
Coming to terms with, capitalism or something.
There might be a cobbler
Soviet
involved.
cobbler.
So it's might be happening. So I'm just gonna go right into the to the pitch here. Not explaining characters, not explaining setting. I mean, it's, I'll explain the setting, actually. It's modern in a city. So.
An American city?
Yeah. We open following Greg Wilkes. He lives in a 1-bedroom apartment in a large apartment building. He rolls out of bed, scrambles to get ready in his bare apartment, and get dressed in a tie for work. He scarfs down some toast for breakfast and takes the subway downtown. He reaches a co-working office space and checks into his office rental for the day. He gets a polite nod to the desk person. We can see he's talking to a salesman guy. Now, the desk person doesn't seem to know his name because she's currently talking to a salesman who asks, as our guy passes by, she's talking to the salesman who says, like, oh, do you know him? And she's like, no, but he just, like, uses this co-working space every once in a while. Seeing his face around, just one of those faces that kind of just blends in with the crowd and you kind of forget, but he's been here a couple of times, so I just nod.
He's a regular, but he's not a friendly regular. He's a kind of... See him.
See him. He's there. Greg goes upstairs, works on his new website where he's going to be selling a type of coffee for dogs. Dog coffee.
Ooh, dog coffee. That's an idea.
Jake,
did you come up with that? Did you come up with that for this show? Because that's a show idea in and of itself. Dog coffee.
Dog coffee. I feel like that's like some super consumerism thing that people would buy. So, like 100%. Some sort of like, oh, I want to have a coffee in the morning and I want my dog to have something that kind of looks like coffee, but it's not going to kill them and maybe gives them energy. And so now you got this dog that's addicted to dog coffee and you got to buy dog coffee every morning, or you just got this lazy dog that doesn't want to get up.
How about this? It's a sequel series to Human Meat. Dog coffee.
Dog coffee.
They make coffee out of dogs.
Oh, okay. Not what I was thinking. Not what I was thinking. Coffee for dogs, not of dogs.
We take these dogs, they're roasted, and it's like a Folgers commercial, but it's just dogs getting blended. It's really horrifying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, unrelated to dogs getting murdered, we've got this guy working on his website. At lunch, he goes down to a kiosk and orders a sandwich. Never interacting with anybody, picks it up from a counter. He sits outside on a bench eating away, when all of a sudden, Charlie, he is approached by Archibald Campbell, a shoe salesman. He asks Greg if he'd like to try on some new shoes, and he comments how he can tell that Greg's current pair is harming his gait. And so Greg is a little resistant at first, because nobody likes a salesman. But he
also
tries on a
taking your
few
shoes
pairs.
off in public is always weird, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Even when I'm shoe shopping.
But Archibald,
like,
he's pushy, he's friendly, he's charismatic. Greg is like, all right, fine, I'll try on a pair of shoes, and he tries on a few pairs, and they're all like really, really nice, fine shoes. And Archibald explains that all of them were made by him by hand. So he's like, oh, they're a little bit more expensive, but I can perfectly craft it to your foot. And it's kind of nice to have something that was made by another person. And Greg agrees. Yeah. He thinks like that's kind of cool to have a shoe that was made by this guy. And they're all nice shoes. And one pair fits perfectly, and it looks perfect, and he loves how it looks with his suit. And Greg's like, I want to buy this. And he picks it up. But Archibald says, well, I'm sorry, that's just the demo pair. It's, tons of people have worn that. You don't really want that one. I'll tell you what. I'll prep the new pair, and I'll drop you off a fresh one. And so Greg gives Archie his address, and Archie says that he's going to get the materials ready and pop by around 7 p.m. on Friday. Greg is excited, goes back to work, and as he leaves, the camera does not follow Greg. It stays with Archie, who smiles, puts the shoes in his briefcase, and he takes out a tape recorder from his pocket and prepares a brief note. Wednesday, December 18th. Spoke to GW for the first time. He bought a pair. We'll gather materials and meet him on Friday. I'm sure he's a recluse, just like the others, but I'll double check anyway. End recording. He then goes to a series of records offices, pulling files on Greg's apartment, his relatives, etc. And at one of their offices, he runs into Sadie, who recognizes him and says that she's seen him around, and she's the desk assistant. She usually is like at the office to like help attorneys sort through like estate records. And he's like, they chat for a little bit. They've clearly chatted multiple times before, and they've seen each other before. And she says like, hey, do you want to like go out for a drink on Friday? He goes, well, actually, I got a work thing on Friday night, but we can do Thursday if you'd like. And she smiles, and they agree to it. Archie goes home, and he starts working on the bottom of the shoe. He picks out the laces he's going to use and some other bits. His apartment is just completely littered with like shoe boxes and materials. I say littered, but it's all very well laid out and like, put together and organized. But it is just like this is more of a shoe business than it is a place where somebody lives.
Yeah.
Lots of work benches and stuff.
He lives in his office. He doesn't work from home. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, that makes sense.
He then picks up some of the stuff, and he takes it downtown to a garage storage unit. And he only opens the garage a little bit and slides the box in, and then he shuts the garage. He then goes to a bar where he hangs out with his friend Michael, who's complaining about his girlfriend, and he's starting to think that maybe like something's up in their relationship. Like maybe she's cheating on him or something. And so the next day, Archie goes to the homes of friends of Greg, people that he's seen pictured with him on Facebook and high school and yearbook, and he says to all of them that he's a lawyer. He's looking to transfer some inheritance to Greg, and he's trying to see if anybody knows where he lives. And every person says, "Well, I don't really know Greg anymore. I haven't talked to him in years. Can't find anyone. He can't find any living family either."
Damn, this guy's weird.
Yeah, Greg is a bit of a recluse. Thursday night, he goes out with Sadie and has a surprisingly good time. They have like a textbook romantic comedy night where they go out for coffee and then dinner and then ice skating and do like a little Christmas village, and they have this like perfect, wonderful night. And he walks her home, and he says that like they should go out again sometime. And he wakes up in the morning, splashes cold water on his face, and meticulously gets dressed. He then takes out his tools, starts carving up some leather. And we can hear him talking in his head. This is kind of like one of those shows where there's a lot of like inside the head narration, not true narration, but like we can hear his thoughts.
Yeah, I'm imagining it like kind of, sort of it's a idyllic sort of looking thing, but then this guy's got like a Rorschach-esque like, the streets cry out for me. Like he's just got this like dark, grim, cynical inner monologue.
I don't think it's like that. It's more normal.
More normal. He's not a psychopath.
So, okay. So he's carving out the leather. We can hear him talking in his head and how he takes his job very seriously and how precision is very important to him. So this is somebody who his job, making shoes is like incredibly important to him. It really matters. He wants to do everything right. And we're getting the feeling like that's why he's like doing all this weird research about this guy. Is that like he's like super into making these pairs of shoes and he wants to know everything about you to make these shoes. So before going to Greg's home, he follows Greg from a distance. And he sees Greg go into a bar, and he follows in. And when Greg goes to the bathroom, he goes up to his drink, and he drops something in. And a short while later, he keeps narrating that Greg is a bad man, but he doesn't say why. And eventually, he appears at Greg's home, who lets him in and apologizes, says he's had a few drinks, he's a little stumbling around a little bit. And Archie says it's all right, and he pulls out his materials. And Greg's a little confused, because he's like, I thought you were just going to drop off the shoes. But Archie explains that he's going to make the shoe in front of him. Which Greg thinks is weird and is kind of annoyed.
That
like he wanted this
strange.
Homemade shoe, but now he thinks like this dude's gonna spend like an hour making his shoe in his apartment. And Archie says that it won't be long, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. He lays out this big tarp on the floor and starts setting down materials. And Greg kind of comes over to explain. He's standing on the tarp like, this is gonna be a mess. Like, I mean, is this even big enough? Like, why do you even need a tarp? Like, this is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
I know what you mean. That is
Archie
a bit
replies
strange, but
there's not gonna be a mess, not anymore. And Greg looks over at Archie's shoulder and asks where the leather is. And Archie explains, that's where you come in. And Greg scrunches up a face and goes, what? And then Archie turns and shoots him in the head. And Greg falls perfectly on the tarp. I'm thinking he shoots him in the head with like that cow gun from No Country for Old Men.
Oh, from No Country? Oh, that would be cool. I was thinking he'd turn around and he's got like a silenced pistol. But it would be cooler if he was like, that's where you come in. And then Greg's just kind of standing over there like, what? That's funny. And then he just quietly stands up, presses it to his forehead, and clocks him. And he's down, right on the thing.
Yeah, and so he falls over, right out perfectly onto the tarp. No mess at all, just as he said. And he pulls out the tape recorder. He says, today is December 20th. Greg was mildly sedated but agitated before his fall. He then clicks off the recorder, wraps Greg up, and slumps him over his shoulder, taking him out. He's narrating about how he enjoys his job and he likes his work. And he feels purpose, tension, commitment. He likes what he does. He gets to the garage, lays Greg on the table, and he gets to work, carving him up. There's soft jazz playing in the background while he works.
Jesus
He talks
Christ.
about how he doesn't do it just to anyone. They have to fit certain criteria. They need to want it. And we look over, the camera flashed over to the computer screen, where we can see a forum for some dumb username. I guess it'd be like not Greg Wilkes 12 or something. Says like, talks about how he wants to die. And it's like this dark web forum where people are looking for a hitman. And we can see a reply from somebody that's called the Cobbler, who agrees and says it's going to take some time, maybe a year or two, but he'll get him. And then we go back to the narration. He says he makes sure that they have no friends, no family, no one would miss them, no records, nothing that would make them a known quantity in the world. And then finally, he needs to meet them. He needs to see their skin, make sure they're good enough. And as he says this, he carves out huge chunks of Greg and puts them on a tanning rack. And as we go through this montage of him like talking about how he picks his targets and everything, he's tanning out the leather, doing all this stuff. And at the end, we see the finished pair of pristine leather shoes. The exact pair that Greg had ordered. End of episode 1.
That's the end of episode 1?
Yep.
Damn. That's a dark episode. I dig it.
Yep, so Shoe Leather is a serial killer show, if you hadn't figured that out. I wanted to try to make it the first episode like you can't really tell what it is until the very end. I don't know, did you feel like you knew it was a serial killer?
I didn't. I thought it was going to be some sort of like almost Whiplash-esque, like an artist who's so committed to their art that they like go insane doing it, you know? Because I did think to myself, it would be cool if he made the guy into shoes, but that's probably not where Jake's gonna go. I'm the one who does serial killer shows. Jake doesn't really do those very often. So
I was thinking about some of your I was thinking of your what's it called? Splatterpunk while I was making this.
Splatterpunk season 2 is still, I'm very proud of that season.
But you'll see, I'm going to explain the next couple episodes in a second, but I've tried to take it more in like an American Psycho route. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from it. It's less, Ed Gein, a little bit more, handsome Christian Bale-esque. Who do you want playing the shoe leather guy?
Archie.
I'm assuming Archie is not his real name.
Archie is his real name, yeah.
Oh, it is. Mm-hmm. He uses his real name.
Yep.
Damn.
Well, because all of his victims he picks them out so meticulously so that there'll be no investigation. That's his whole thing, is that he finds people that want to die and then have no friends or family that are going to report them. I mean, like this guy, Greg, is like the perfect example because he has a job he's self-employed. So like there's no work to call in at. He has no friends or family, doesn't really talk to anyone. No one will miss him if he just disappears. And he's already gone to all these record offices and pulled everything that this guy had, so that now he's like getting rid of the paper trail of this dude's existence, essentially. Yeah. That's what we realize. Like, he doesn't just kill you, he erases you.
Do we see him, or is it just like left up to the audience's imagination as to how he disposes of everything that he can't turn into a shoe?
I hadn't really thought about that. I don't know. Just like burn it or something. Maybe it's used as, I don't know. I don't know. Just burn it.
Maybe he uses the bones to make the sewing needles and stuff that he uses to make the shoe. Yeah,
I feel like you could probably use more body parts for the shoe than just the
aglets could be made out of teeth.
The thing is, like, I don't want this to be like a gross looking shoe. The thing is, like, the shoe has to look like a normal shoe at the end.
Like Hannibal Lecter, he makes beautiful looking meals, but they're made out of guys.
Exactly, yeah.
Or
like
gals.
Just like Hannibal Lecter, where like just everything looks normal at the end.
And that's the really horrifying part.
Yeah.
And maybe the episode ends with Archie walking down the street, listening to some music, listening to some smooth jazz, wearing his new kicks, And he's
I don't think
somebody says,
the
hey,
thing is, he's
nice
never going
shoes.
to wear these shoes.
They're
all just going to sit on a shelf in his home.
And are we gonna, he's gonna, I imagine the end of the episode would be he sets the shoes on the shelf, and it, pans back, and you can see he's got,
dozens
and dozens of pairs of shoes.
Yeah, I think so. Now, I don't think it's going to be, a ridiculous, maybe, a dozen pair of shoes. He's not, he's, just got into, his prime of this. He was sort of new to it before, and this is, one of his first killings where he's, in his prime of being the serial killer. Third or fourth.
And is there a detective chasing him in some way?
No, we'll get into that. So episode 2, I'll just run through the episodes now. So episode 2, Archie finishes up removing Greg's existence from the world and begins researching his next victim. He's talking with her online in a forum, and she's a mid-20s socialite from a rich background. So he's talking with her. She says she wants to die, and he's learning a little bit more. And he starts doing some research on her, and he finds that she's this mid-20s socialite with a rich background. So she's got this big family and all these people, and so he declines to help her because she has this family. She doesn't fit his mold for the people he wants to kill. And he moves on to the next one. This guy that's a late 50s garbage man. So he starts doing research on this guy. This guy fits the mold. He's no friends, no family, wants to die. He's following everything that goes. And so he'll
doesn't
go
have
on
a significant paper trail. This socialite chick, she's probably got Instagrams and, tons of different things and that he would have to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the garbage man, so the whole episode is basically him doing the research on the garbage man, following his route, looking at him, seeing, where he could go. This is where we get the shoe part, where he'll introduce himself and ask him if he'd like to get a pair of shoes and all this stuff. And he also go on another date with Sadie, and their relationship starts to move kind of quickly. In this episode, they decide to be official in their relationship. Everything's going very quickly in their thing. These two clearly like each other a lot.
Good for Archie. Archie's pulling it down. He's on the pull.
And also he'll talk to Michael again, but nothing really progressing in his that friendship or the plot line with that in this episode. Episode 3 opens with Archie killing the garbage man. And just after he finishes work in the morning, he's able to, cut him up, make the pair of shoes, and go to lunch with Sadie. Because, the garbage man, he gets the garbage very early in the morning, so Archie meets him, like, right after the garbage man finishes his shift.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gets to kill him and make the shoes, and is able to get lunch with Sadie at, like, 1 or something like that, like 1 o'clock. Yeah. And he apologizes for his tired eyes, because he's like, I was sorry, I was working early this morning and didn't get a lot of sleep, that kind of thing. And so they have a nice time.
What does she think he does for a living?
Shoe salesman.
Okay.
Shoe salesman, yeah.
Fair enough.
He's open with that, like, in his life, he's a shoe salesman. That's how they met, like, because remember he was at the records office. He didn't lie and say that he's, a lawyer looking for something. He lied saying that he was selling shoes. And, he, like, needed to find the address for one of his clients who just moved, that kind of thing.
Yeah, all right.
So he hangs out with, they have a nice time, and she invites him to a work party that Friday. He agrees. He then hangs out with Michael, whose relationship is getting worse, and he thinks his girlfriend is cheating. He convinces Archie to watch her when she finishes work next week. And Archie, like, he agrees reluctantly, like, yeah, I'll do what I can, because Michael thinks, like, I can't do it, because, like, if I see her cheating, like, I see her go out with a girl, like, I don't, or like a guy, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, like, I'll explode. I need you to do it, so
I'll lose it,
so I can, like, get the news sitting down at home, and, like, you got to do me this favor.
Mm-hmm. Just like how I ask people to look in to make sure that you're not podcasting with anyone else.
Yeah, I totally.
Because it would break my heart.
Yeah,
it would break my little heart in half.
No other podcasts from me.
Although I would love it if you had, like, an evil. You know how in sitcoms they'll do, like, it's you but slightly differently. I would love it if you had a different TV show. You had a different, like, pitching themed podcast with somebody who is, like, kind of me, like a Xerox copy of
They're
me.
like you,
who
except
also
they
didn't do any of the work.
Upload the episodes after we finish recording, and they
their titles are only 5s.
Yeah, all their
no
titles
ones,
are
no 10s.
all their titles are something I could come up with a show with, and don't leave me confused. Trying to come up with something for shoe leather.
I think you've come up with a very good show for shoe leather.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Didn't take me all fucking week to do this. Anyway.
My thought was a sad Russian man making shoes.
Sad Russian man making shoes. Yeah, I kind of thought about some ideas like that, but how do you make a TV show out of that?
Well, I was maybe like the because it's Soviet Russia, right? Supplies are really hard to find, and so the whole show is him, like, trying to acquire, shoe leather through blockades and stuff, and he has to go through all sorts of different means, but it's besides the point. You've got an actual TV show. Idea. It
would be great if you just kept going on your pitch there, and we just never heard the rest of my show. We just ended it after you finished. That would have been great. That would have been a great joke.
Me just justifying this terrible title I've given you. No, it's actually good because I can think of something. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah. So he talking to Michael. Michael asks him to watch his girlfriend. Blah blah blah. At the office party, Archie goes to the office party with Sadie, who's his girlfriend, meeting all the people at her office. They're having a good time. It's nice. And he meets this young socialite, Mary Beth Willards. And he very quickly realizes that this is the girl from that forum that I was chatting with. And she is, to him, it's going to be very obvious to him, and from his inside the head narration, that this girl is clearly super sad and wants to die. Like, she hates her life and wants to die. But everyone, like, she's, like, putting on an act at the party and just having fun. And she also has incredible skin, which he can't stop looking at. It's like, oh. Like, he's like getting upset because he's like, why does she have to have all these family members? Like, I'm annoyed that I can't kill this girl. And so we follow him as he has these, like, horrible, like, these horrible thoughts about, we get the real demented part of this serial killer is, like, he desperately wants to kill this person. He builds all these rules to, like, justify it, but he's so demented and fucked up.
Yeah, maybe he sneaks into her bathroom at one point in the party. Like, she lives there, and he sneaks into the bathroom and looks at her skincare routine.
Yeah.
And he's, like, just, like, salivating. He's like, oh my god. Sort of Patrick Bateman with the cards sort of thing. Like, oh, she uses a moisturizer and then a cleanser. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then she uses an anti-freckle cream. Oh my god.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, that's a good American Psycho connection there. So he feels compelled to help her, but he knows he can't because he's ruled. And when I say help her, like, he sees this demented, fucked up idea that he's helping these people.
Yeah.
But he can't because of his rules. So he leaves. Episode 4, he starts stalking both Mary Beth and Michael's girlfriend to learn more about them. And the show ends with, well, I think probably in the penultimate episode, we're going to see Michael. Archie is going to be watching from afar as he sees Michael nearly kill his girlfriend, but instead just break up with her. And I think what's important for this is that to the audience, it's clear that he was just going to break up with his girlfriend. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But Archie, watching it because of his demented mind and how he sees things and how he's going to be narrating it, is seeing it as like Michael is going to kill her. And he's like wondering if he should intervene or like if he should just wait till after and then come in and help him cover it up. But to the viewer, if you were not listening to the narration, if you were just watching this independently, you'd think, well, he's just going in to break up with his girlfriend. That's it.
Yeah.
But Archie sees it as like this possible murder moment. So there's going to be a lot of tension, tense music and stuff like that. That's probably going to happen in the penultimate episode. But in the actual ending, we're going to get Archie killing Mary Beth, the socialite. He's going to break all of his rules. He's going to do it anyway. Like sort of give in to the madness of his desires as this horrible killer and kill her. And even in that in the moment that he kills her, like it kind of doesn't feel like she wants to die, because unlike the other killings that he's done where it's been very quick and clean, this is going to be very sloppy. There's going to be a mess. Yeah. He's going to have stabbed her. Well, she's going to see him killing her. She's going to scream. Like, this is not going to be like these refined, hitman-like deaths that he's orchestrated before.
The mask is fully off with this kill.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I did have an idea for a scene that maybe like the episode after they meet at the party.
Yeah.
He like is stalking her a little bit, but like in his mind, his narration is like, this isn't real. I'm just doing this, to get it out of my system. But it's not. I'm not going to do anything. And then because she's suicidal, he watches her go up on a bridge and stand on the edge, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, she's wavering over and he sees her and he's like, I can't. And he intervenes and, like, talks her down off the ledge. And then she falls into his arms. And maybe they start, like, a illicit, like, affair. Because he's so attracted to her skin. Like, and he's like, I can't do it. I have to, he's fighting the demons inside, to stick with his rules. But he starts this, like, sort of affair with this woman who's like younger than him, and it's not cool and it's not all right, but he can't help himself because it's the closest he can get to her until the final episode, right? He's like lying in bed with her, and it's like Anakin Skywalker in Revenge of the Sith when he's like in bed and just looking over his girlfriend, right? And she's in bed asleep, and he just can't help it, and he reaches into the like bedside table. He pulls out some sort of, because I'm assuming all of his weapons will also be shoe themed, so he pulls out some sort of like a shoe knife and just like plunges into her heart, and she wakes up and she's like, and then that's the end of her.
Yeah, I like that idea. I'm just not sure if I want them to be a thing or not.
Bumpin' uglies, right? That was also my idea, and it really depends on how much of a bad person you want to make this serial killer out to be besides the serial killing. Because I would buy that the Archibald would be committed to his relationship.
That's what I want. I want him to be in this comedic romantic relationship with Sadie. Mm-hmm. That's like that makes the audience like him. That's the idea. I want the audience to like him for like forever, all of his life, outside of the fact that he's this horrible, terrible person, right?
Yeah. Maybe they don't even have, maybe he and Mary Beth don't have like a romantic relationship, but it's more of like a paternal one, right? Because she has lots of family, but they don't see her, you know?
I'm
She's
kind of
set
picturing
dressing.
it more like the TV show You, where like he builds up this idea of this person from afar, and he thinks of them having a relationship when they haven't even met, kind of. Like he watches her all the time, and he knows everything about this girl, but he doesn't actually talk with her until the killing. So then there's this moment of like this weird moment of like he knows her, but she doesn't know who the hell he is, and this this person that, and so like you'll get that like initial like rejection of someone that just sees him as a stranger when he sees her for like, he's been watching her for so long, so he knows so much about her.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. I do
think, like both these ideas. It doesn't matter either way. Whichever one we'd go with. The ending I kind of want to be the same, which is he kills her, and in that moment we have like the American Psycho thing, where he expects all of his rules to finally break and for the law to catch him. Right? Patrick Bateman is so fearful, he thinks the cops are going to come after him. And then just like that, Archie is going to be like, oh my God, I've broken every rule. How am I going to clean up this mess? I don't know what to do. Like, they're going to get me. Like, my whole life is going to collapse, Sadie. Like, everybody's going to know I'm this huge monster, like this repressed thing inside of me that I've been able to hide from the world and take out on a few people because of my code. I've destroyed all of that. And my whole life is going to be ruined, and everyone's going to catch me, and it's going to be horrible. But nothing happens. There's a quiet funeral. Her death is ruled as a suicide, and life goes on without much of an investigation. And this drives Archie mad because his whole code was for nothing. His fear of getting caught, the thrill, all of it was ultimately for nothing, because when he goes ahead and he breaks all of his rules, nothing happens. So we see him like finally realize this, like at his, he'll be at his garage, cutting up the last bits of the skin for Mary Beth. He makes the shoes, but he did it really shittily, because he's like having this huge, horrible moment in his head. So not only did he finally got this perfect skin that he wanted for making the shoe, but he did a poor job because he's so confused and broken because his whole system is gone, and his whole existence seems to be like a complete mess, and nothing matters because he can do something horrible and no one even notices. And he'll get a phone call. He'll like walk outside in the rain holding the pair of shoes, and he'll get a phone call from Sadie, and he'll just drop his phone and he'll drop the pair of shoes and he'll just walk alone into the rainy night. End of show.
I like that ending. I had a totally alternate ending in mind that I thought you were building to. Which was, if I may, go forward with my alternate ending.
Not if it's better than mine.
That is up to
You've done that
the
before,
interpretation of the audience.
I'd be pissed off if you do it again.
No, but I think it would be cool if he does have this sort of break, but it's a little bit more subtle when he realizes his rules are all for naught, and it sort of, instead of, tamping the monster down, it sort of liberates it in a strange way. And so we see him make these shoes, and they're out of Mary Beth, and they're the best shoes he's ever made. Like, they're beautiful, absolutely incredible shoes. These white, stiletto heels. I'm assuming each kill, like, he makes the shoes, that whatever kind of shoes based off of the kind of person. So for the first guy, he made like brogues because the guy worked in an office. And then for the trash guy, he makes like work boots because he's, wears work boots every day. But he makes these like beautiful pair of white stiletto heels out of Mary Beth. And you can see he's kind of like, his eyes are sort of blank when he was making the shoes before, but now he has sort of a crazed excitement in his eyes making these. And then he gets a phone call from his girlfriend. He picks it up, says, yeah, I'm excited to meet you in the park tomorrow too. And he puts it down and he picks up a little box, right? And then it's just silent, and we just see he meets her in the park. He proposes, right? She starts crying. She like jumps up and down in joy. She takes the ring, puts it on, right? Cut to, they're getting ready, for the wedding and all this stuff, and he, gives her a box, for the special day, right? And he hands it to her, and she doesn't open it until the wedding day. And then we see her walking down the aisle in this beautiful pair of white stiletto heels.
Ooh.
and you see him like crying as she's walking down the aisle, and everyone in the audience thinks that he's crying because he's seeing his, fiance become his wife, but he's crying because this is the first time anyone's worn the shoes that he's made, and they're just so beautiful, and that's the end of the show.
Yeah. Okay.
That was two alternate endings, absolutely diametrically opposed. So I'm not willing to say one is better than the other. Well, yours I would think is a little bit more well thought out than mine. Mine definitely was spur of the moment, but still.
That is how it works when I come up with the TV show and you listen to it for the first time during the thing. I do like your ending though. I was kind of going back and forth between like having him like how I went with a more ambiguous ending, but I was thinking about doing like he realizes that none of the rules matter and like there's no, like the code doesn't matter because no one's gonna catch him, and then he just like gives up and isn't a serial killer anymore because there's no point. If he doesn't need to have this code because he's afraid of people catching him, if no one's gonna try to catch him, what's the point? There's no thrill.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in like a lot of I actually was watching an episode of the old Batman animated series yesterday, and there's an episode where the Riddler thinks he's killed Batman, and before Batman reveals himself as surviving, he like burns his like Riddler coat and Riddler hat, and it's like, well, I'm done with all that. There's no point anymore. I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah, I do think that is an interesting way of going about it too for the character. So it is really, do you want to play it as ambiguous or as sort of he's truly a monster?
I feel like I couldn't go with the he's not gonna, he like kind of gets away with it thing fully. I have to leave it ambiguous because it's the whole Martin Scorsese idea of in a mafia movie at the end you have to have the killer or the mafia men go to jail. Like you can't have them get away with it. Because, you set this example. So if we have him this ambiguous, like he's going to go off and kill more people and he's a bad guy, doesn't just like go to a normal life, then I feel like that's better than he's just living in society now, everything's fine.
And he loves killing people, he loves making shoes, and he probably had his wife wear one of the pairs of shoes on the honeymoon.
Who knows? Anyway, that was Shoe Leather, my episode for this week. Hope you enjoyed it.
Shoe leather. Yeah, I did. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Very Reasonable Pilots podcast. I've been your host, Charles. Along with me has always been my co-host, editor, producer, co-pilot, gunner, navigator, orator, and podcasting associate, Jacob Gloth. If you like what you heard here and you want to hear more, please give us a like, a follow, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell your cat, and remember, we'll be here next week with a brand new televisual series for you to imagine and enjoy. And what shall that series be named, Jacob?
I've got 4 titles for you.
We have 4 titles. I'm going number 3.
Number 3 is The War on Sleep.
The War on Sleep. Similar to The War on Drink.
Yep, The War on Sleep.
The War on Sleep. All right, this is going to be a Freddy Krueger TV show. Everyone get excited.
Freddy Krueger.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you soon.